Good morning and welcome to the new episode of Becoming a Better Human Being. We often hear people saying that they have a tunnel vision. What is tunnel vision? It's essentially loss of peripheral visual fields while retaining vision in the central area. So when your imagination suffers and your mind is capable of perceiving the world only through one area, as if you are looking through a long tunnel or a tube, you have an issue. And the issue is that this sort of a vision is going to hinder your growth. If you're a driver and your peripheral vision is not there, then you're not a good driver. So, how to get over this impairment? And I thought of this when somebody objected to my use of the term helicopter vision. Now, helicopter vision is all encompassing. I coined this term because I believe that lateral vision, horizontal vision, vertical visions are okay. But if you have a helicopter vision, then you are able to perceive things in entirety. So if you are suffering from tunnel vision, and most of us do, what do you do? How to overcome the tunnel vision? Because that's a major impairment. The first thing is that when tunnel vision hits you, don't let yourself get trapped in your little bubble. Wherever you are, wherever you go, whatever you do, give yourself a moment, a tiny moment to get out of your head and just soak in your environment. And you never know what will spark an idea. It might be a eureka moment, but you have got to get out of this issue out of your head that you're suffering from tunnel vision. Because tunnel vision, once you have it, psychologically makes you imperfect. So, how do you get and what do you do after you are soaking in your environment? To make your pitch, you have to find a counterintuitive book or a shiny new angle that will grab the attention of others, your bosses, your colleagues, your subordinates, your customers, whatever. And finding that angle which can enable you to impress others requires some creativity and a fully stocked pond of inspiration. You can't fish if your pond doesn't have fish. So your pond should always have inspiration, thoughts, ideas. And I have seen experts make the mistake of bearing down on their domain too hard. What does that mean? That means mining and stripping all that they can. It is basically Stalin's policy of scorched earth when he was being defeated. He burnt everything so that the Nazi armies didn't have anything to eat. But here, mining and stripping yourself is harmful, is suicidal. And then they shake their fists at the sky and blame God and everything. And the result is they come up short. They are nowhere. So the key to the fresh take is actually think outside your niche. Do not be confined by your thoughts. And remember, the power of your pitch lies in its relevance. If you have got tunnel vision, you miss the little details and nuances of the real world. What's driving us, what we need, what's popular, how we relate to one another. That, when weaved into your pitch, makes it stand out from the rest. So, if you are in desperate need of inspiration, have no fear. You can always find inspiration. And here are the four places I'm going to tell you where you can start looking for it right away. And that will enable you, once you have an inspiration, that will enable you to get out of the morass of having a tunnel vision. So, firstly, as I said, get out of your head and observe what's around you. I've seen people don't observe. They go on, say, you're going to your office and you drive every day, and you will hardly know. You will run the road, but you will hardly know any landmark on the sides. When the tunnel vision is at its strongest, sometimes the best move is to grab a cup of coffee, go to a park, or just take in the world around you, look around you, see, get out of the present environment. A cup of java, a visit to the garden, having a smelling a rose, looking for a butterfly. These things would enable you to get out of the environment. There's even more important now that they have been inside for a while. It's too easy to get focused on what is inside your little bubble. So get out of your bubble. And you can do people watching. Have you ever watched people? Have you looked at the people? You go are going and you meet people or you look at people and think them to be bipeds, people with 2 feet coming and up, but not human beings. So look at them, look at their faces, look at the shape of their noses, their cheeks, their chins, their eyes. Are they glazed? Are they bright? So do some people watch. Make up colorful backstories for strangers. As a matter of fact, it's very important at this stage to know that talking to strangers is extremely useful. And I'll take up that in one of my episodes later on. Or if you can't do that, even take in the beauty of nature, even if it's just in your backyard or a local park. So wherever you go or whatever you do, give yourself a moment. Get out of your head. Soak in the environment. You never know the eureka moment. And that allowing a little silence can give you room to breathe, have silence around. And that learn to have the power of doing nothing. When you do nothing, then you can be sure that your mind starts thinking. And that thinking is a process to get out of the tunnel vision. Second, reignite your other passions. I've seen people looking for passionate experts. But no, you don't have to be an expert. If you are saving all your energy for your work, you have got it backwards. Passion begets more passion. So you can risk burnout if you rely on your work as the only source. You know, these experts have all tunnel vision. And that's why look up at any present so called genie. Do they know anything else? I am a strong believer in the tradition of Chanakya, Plato, Aristotle. All of them had multidisciplinary approach. They were look at Leonardo da Vinci. He was a painter, he was an aviation man, he was the man who first thought of the tank. Imagine it. So you can drive back into a hobby or pick up a book that has been on your to do list, but you never did it. Whatever it is, indulge in something that provokes a sense of wonder, a sense of curiosity, and brings you joy. Big ideas usually strike when you are lost in something completely different. I remember reading Einstein, and he said he always got his best ideas in the shower. Another source of joy for many of us is reconnecting with the people you love. You like people, you love them, but then separation comes, isolation comes, you are burdened with the other one. So get out of that. Pick up your phone, write to them, reconnect with them. It's much easier to put yourself out there with confidence when you know that your emotional safety net is firmly in place. These people who know you, who are your friend, your relations, at one time your dear ones, they are the ballast, balancing. That's a safety net. That's a second. Third, unplug and reconnect to yourself. Again, let me take up the example of the computer. When something happens, what do? You reboot. So this is what you need to do: reboot yourself, unplug, let it rest for some time, and reconnect to yourself. In order to stand out, you've got to know what your thing is. And since you're the heartbeat of your brain, that is yourself, you've got to make time for yourself. Step away from the page, away from the computer, turn off the phone, and give yourself some time to unplug. And how to do that? First, stream of consciousness journalism, or not journaling, rather diary writing, is a great way of unearthing ideas that you don't know you have. You should maintain a diary, write down points. Then, mindfulness can remove some of the unconscious blocks. It's like defragmenting the disk of the computer. Defragment the disk of your mind. Keep, because the unconscious blocks are keeping you stuck. So you need to defragment. Unfortunately, human beings will defragment the computer, but not themselves. And I remember my wife was saying that we have a car and we look after its maintenance, regular maintenance, preventive maintenance. But we look after the maintenance of our body and our inner self? That's most important. Then try something new every time. Try something new and learn about the other side of yourself. The better you know yourself, the more specific and interesting you will be. And if you are more interesting, if you're more specific, you are on a way to being a better human being. So these three ideas, and the fourth, introspect. Think where you're going wrong. Think what is making your problem. Until and unless you do that, the fourth thing, the introspection, you would be nowhere. So you have got to understand that you have to get out of your head and observe, connect with nature, connect, talk to strangers, look at them, look at people, observe people moving around, and you would find that most of the people are indifferent to the surroundings, and that will give you something to crow about that you are better at observing people. Get out of your head, observe everything which is around you, reignite your other passions, and unplug, reconnect yourself with yourself. The whole thing is getting out of your comfort zone. People who believe in being in their comfort zone are never progressive. They cannot grow because the comfort zone makes you unable to take any action. And if you are not able to act, then what sort of human being you are? So comfort zone should be thrown aside. Connect, connect, connect with the people, connect with nature, connect with yourself. These three connections: nature, people, and yourself. They would be the ballast of your ship of life. It's on a turbulent, stormy ocean, your life, always. You need ballast. You need something which keeps us steady. And it is these three things that will do it. Now, the question comes, if that is there, then why is it that the people are not? Because A, they don't want to get out of the comfort zone. B, they cannot connect their prejudices, their pride. Most of us suffer from a sense of false pride. I have absolutely no issue in connecting with the people. But then I have my limitations, as everybody has. I cannot connect to stupid ideas. I'm very pressed. And sometimes you have got to know that if you really want to come out of the tunnel vision, you have got not to be nice. As a matter of fact, you remember once I talked about it, that being nice is harmful to yourself. As a matter of fact, there are 15 dangers of being nice. And one of the major dangers is that you develop a tunnel vision, you're circumscribed. Be yourself, be an authentic being. And that's most important. If you're authentic, if you're self aware, if you can connect with the nature, then you can be creative. You can have new ideas. And once you have new ideas, then you are out of the tunnel vision. Then you develop a wider peripheral vision. And that's what's required. Shall I tell you something very personal? My left eye is useless. So when I went for the driving test, they rejected me, but then they referred me to the ophthalmologist. And he said, look here, ordinary people have got 180-degree, rather 135-degree peripheral. They can look straight and they look without looking, shifting their eyes, is 135 degrees. And mine was more than 180 degrees peripheral vision with one eye. And the doctor, Dr. Allen and myself, we laughed about it and said, no, I know the reason. Because you can encompass things which ordinary people cannot. And it's not only my physical eyes, but mental eyes as well. Have a, I think, 270-degree, if not 360-degree peripheral vision. And that's what you need. You need to have more than 180-degree mental peripheral vision. And then this question of tunnel vision would not be there. And you'd be a better human being, better person on the road to progress. And that's what you want, don't you? Thank you.